It's my favorite time of the day again when I join you, my wonderful Israel briefers from all around the world, to take a look at those top stories making headlines today. If you are new to it, welcome. Where have you been? I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where we meet every Monday to Thursday to take a look at those top stories making headlines in Israel. As we always say, it's the headlines you won't see in your mainstream media because, hey, when it comes to Israel, they have a very, very definite take on the narrative. You come here to hear our side. As always, the Israel Brief is brought to you in partnership with these guys, Lay of the Land. So let's dive right into it, and we begin with Prime Minister Netanyahu's visit to the White House yesterday for a meeting with US President Trump. Now, the Prime Minister was meant to return from Hungary, but detoured straight to Washington. And this meeting makes him the first world leader to meet with Trump with regards to the decision to impose tariffs on countries around the world. And Israel has been included in that, despite the fact that last week Israel removed all tariffs on American goods. So let's take a look at some of the takeaways. The two leaders held a joint Q&A session in the Oval Office after they postponed or cancelled a press conference. So some of the key takeaways, besides the discussions around tariffs and trade, which did not, unfortunately, have the outcome that Israel hoped for. So let's take a look at some of the other key points. And one of the big topics for discussion was Iran and the potential of Iran getting a nuclear weapon. Now, the president said that they are involved with indirect talks with Iran, that if the talks don't go the way that he would like them to go, then a military option is very much on the table. The president also said that talks will go direct on Saturday, something that the Iranians have yet to confirm. Other big topics of discussion were Israel's war against Hamas following the atrocities of the 7th of October. Now, today is day 550. Yesterday, we marked that exact 18-month point, that horrific milestone. And of course, we still have 59 hostages that are captive in the dungeons and the tunnels of Gaza, 24 of whom are still believed alive. Now, the president said that he supports Israel's efforts in Gaza, and he said that he did hope for some kind of resolution to the war soon, and also hopes that we will see all of our hostages freed. Now, the Prime Minister also met with the Special Envoy Steve Witkoff shortly before his meeting with President Trump. The president also spoke about America's plans for the Gaza Strip and is holding on to his very, very controversial plan to take over Gaza. As we have been speaking about on the Israel Brief, President Trump's vision is to evacuate all of the civilians voluntarily. He stressed that nobody will be pushed out, level Gaza and rebuild from scratch once Hamas has been eliminated. Those are his plans. Completely out of the box, and I think we're still picking up our jaws off the floor when he initially announced that. And the Prime Minister also met with Vice President J.D. Vance. Now, on the subject of hostages, Egypt has presented their proposal, which could see the release of 8 hostages over 7 days in exchange for about 40 to 70 days of a ceasefire and renewed access to humanitarian aid. We have heard some conflicting reports in the Israeli media. Will Israel resume aid? The Prime Minister's office has said no, absolutely not. Now, the Egyptians, in order to try and press Israel into accepting this deal, have promised that a hostage will be released every day of those 7 days. However, the patience of the Israeli public is wearing thin. We want all of our hostages. We want them all back immediately. the living to start a very, very difficult rehabilitation process, and the dead to be laid to rest with the dignity that they deserve and their families deserve. Some of those remains have to be repatriated around the world, those hostages having been murdered either on the 7th of October or in captivity. Now, Egypt is also pressing Washington to accept the deal, and Israeli authorities have denied receiving the proposal. So we'll be watching this. I think that everybody is very, very anxious for some kind of deal to take place that we can get those hostages back. Yesterday was World Health Day, and to coincide, the doctors that have been treating the released hostages have expressed their extreme concern for the sharply deteriorating physical and psychological state of the remaining living hostages, of which we know 24 are still alive. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum yesterday released a statement from the medical team, and these are some of the concerns based on the testimony of released hostages. I'm going to read to you from the report. The key findings that they are concerned about is severe physical deterioration, significant weight loss, extreme weakness, muscle atrophy, exhaustion, skin damage, and digestive issues among all hostages. At least 1/3 suffer from untreated physical injuries, including shrapnel wounds, burns, fractures, and nerve damage. Multiple hostages with untreated pre-existing conditions such as asthma, chronic digestive disorders, and acute allergies. Widespread psychological decline marked by depression, severe anxiety, distress, helplessness, and loss of hope. We know from the testimony of released hostage Elia Cohen that Guy Dalal Gilboa and Elia Bobot have both, or Al-Qayyam Bobot rather, have both expressed thoughts of suicidal ideation. We also know from the hostage testimonies that Alon Ohel is rapidly going blind due to a shrapnel wound in his eye. Concerns that they are also suffering from prolonged isolation, sleep deprivation, and systematic humiliation by the captors, and confinement in cramped tunnels with poor ventilation, extreme temperatures, and inadequate sanitation. You all saw the condition of the hostages that were released. We saw the emaciated condition of hostages like Eli Sharabi and Ohad Ben Ami and Or Levi. Absolutely shocking and horrific, and we want them all back now. I know the Israel Brief community are as vocal as we are in Israel, and let's keep the pressure up on the world not to forget the plight of our hostages. And finally, Tel Aviv Mayor Ron Huldai and Kai Wegner, he is the mayor of Berlin, have signed a partnership or Twin Cities agreement. This agreement marks 60 years of diplomatic relations between Germany and Israel and the strength and enduring partnership between Tel Aviv and the city of Berlin. So those are our top stories. Let's turn now to our audience question of the day, and it comes from Austin Gibbs in Johannesburg. He says, Rolene, have there been discussions regarding the remains of Eli Cohen? Now, if you are aware of Eli Cohen, or if you aren't aware of Eli Cohen, he was an Israeli Mossad agent who was captured by the Syrians and executed. And to date, nobody knows where his remains are. And there have been some thoughts now with the falling of the Assad regime and the new regime in Syria that maybe there were conversations around where his remains could be and the possibility of returning them to Israel. Now, the government have largely kept mum. The only information we've had was several months ago when they said no discussions have been taking place. But of course, we never know what could be happening behind the scenes. and we always have hope. So the short answer is the government have said no discussions, but let's live in hope that one day we can see the remains of Eli Cohen repatriated to Israel and laid to rest. So those are top stories, guys. Don't forget, if you have an audience question, please be in touch with us either via our website or via our social media. Our website you can find at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook page is at Lottel's site. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. We're on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks. We're on Instagram at Rolene_Marks, on X at Lay of the Land 5. So guys, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and let's grow our community. Much love to you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.